All right, and here we are. This is the Working Title Show with Zach Sams, and we are back. All right. Here we are. This is the Working Title Show with Zach Sams. We are back. It is Halloween. Halloween. Are y'all spooked?
Yes, a little.
Yeah, me too. Well, glad to be here. Little show update. We got a little new format we're trying out. I'm super excited about it. I brought on some very talented people that can overshadow my lack of talent. Right?
Why aren't you wearing the banana costume I brought for Halloween?
I'm putting that on later.
Okay.
I thought that was for private use. So, yeah, new format. The show has really been in the past about our guests and content for them and what they're doing. And I want to continue with that. But, as we've talked, there seems to be, at least in my probably humble and maybe not so accurate opinion, I don't know, there doesn't seem to be a lot of information on what's going on in this area out there. Or if you're trying to find it, there's a lot of places to look, and I'm not sure you get it all. I don't watch the nightly news anymore. Do y'all watch the nightly news? Channel 8?
It's just too many murders and
that's what I remember the nightly news as a kid. It'd be on, and you'd hear like, well, four people were killed in a fire in Arlington, and then down, and then five other people were killed in a shooting down here.
There was a time not that long ago where like Dallas City Hall had 4 or 5 TV reporters plus 4 or 5 print journalists covering it. And they were really good people like Chris Heimbaugh and Rudy Bush and Sarah Dodd and Wolanski. They had really good people covering City Hall. And so people got great content, whether it was on TV.
What was happening.
Yes. Right. And now all those places have slimmed down that there's not a lot of professional coverage of what's going on. So I think people don't watch it because the outlets aren't producing it necessarily. But
you saying we're the new investigative journalists? Me?
Yeah, you're going to be on our.
Hey, but I can tell you there was a day you didn't want Brett Shipp to show up to investigate whatever you're working on, because that guy's a great journalist and a great guy, and he was going to get to the bottom of things. That's what people want. People are really interested in real estate. Look at all these shows on HGTV or things. Those are real estate shows. Yeah, they're about single family, but people are immensely interested.
They're such BS if you know anything about it.
Absolutely.
But they're funny. They're they're pure entertainment. There is really actually nothing going on.
They're exactly right.
Yeah.
And they wrap it up in 30 minutes.
But so obviously people still are interested in the news. And to your point, people used to report on these things. You mentioned all these reporters. I don't know how many there are now, but I guess the internet wrecked news because I guess these places can't pay that many people to report.
Well, look at locally, I think every city needs a paper or record, and the Fort Worth Star Telegram's down to 20-something writers, whereas where the Dallas Morning News still has more than 100, 150 writers. So
that's funny, because normally when we're talking about Dallas and Fort Worth, I'm usually saying, well, Fort Worth does this better than Dallas, but in this instance, you're saying the Dallas Morning News does better than the Star Telegram.
Still a really good paper. I'm happy to be clear up.
Does that just mean people are still subscribing and reading it?
Yeah, they had a profitable month. I mean, people are subscribing.
I mean, you wrote 5 articles last month.
I had a good month. I was productive. I'm going to try and do a weekly at least. So, and I'm writing about almost exclusively local things because that's what I care about.
Right.
That's who reads my stuff.
Do you know how many people read your articles? I guess you do.
Yeah.
If they read it online.
Yeah.
You don't know how many are reading it if they're picking up the actual physical paper.
That's right. But they're, on a Sunday, they're going to print, about 200,000 papers or something. I mean, so, it is funny. I remember last year, I had a piece that was one of the best pieces on housing. I wrote something about first-time home buyers, and I thought I'll do a follow-up piece. And the first piece had maybe 30,000 clicks on it in the first week or so, which was a pretty good number.
Good, right?
It's good. Yeah. And then the next one came out over Memorial Day weekend. It had 1,000. And I thought it was the better piece. Sometimes it's timing.
Sure.
Yeah. And And the best one I've had now was actually one of the first things I wrote on Don't California My Texas.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a good piece, and they really helped me on the art with the clickbait was a picture of chicken fried steak and green beans and mashed potatoes and gravy, and people are like, I'll read that, sure.
Your Memorial Day releases, that's when Nancy Pelosi releases her stock trades, is right before the weekend, so nobody knows about it.
It gets buried. They also can time how long people stay on an article, so you can kind of know did they actually read it. So, that's useful information. But, I write about local things, and I can usually tell by how the thing's performing by, like, guys like you, friends, relatives, people that just text me that day that are like, whoa, that was a hot take on this, or you're completely wrong.
Do you go on and read the comments of your articles?
Not really. Rarely. Look,
that seems like a slipper.
I'm about to go read the comments on his article. Should have done that before. Yeah. It could be so fun.
My kids will alert me sometimes that I have some haters on social media.
Yeah.
Look, I try to figure out what's a good topic and run it by my editor, and then I write it. I'm done at that point.
Yeah.
Because then, I think I trust the fact that there's, I have a good relationship with my editor. Yeah. He's going to almost always make me look better. And then after that, if readers don't like it, I joke all the time.
I think the smartest journalists all say that they don't read the comments on any of it because there's nothing good to come from it.
I spoke at the East Dallas Chamber of Commerce a week or so ago, and I made the comment that, I'm writing an opinion column, and it turns out everybody else's opinion's already taken. So it's just mine. And it's totally okay if people don't agree.
I agree with that. So new format, we're talking about like news, right? And I think it's cool that the Dallas Morning News actually has that many writers and still is getting it, because I don't know about y'all, but if you try to find information, it's really hard. And then when you do, there's always this question in today's world is like, am I reading true stuff, or is this some kind of, or is it even written by a person anymore?
Right.
You don't even know that. And I can assure the audience, if you're watching this, that we are not AI generated, like, what are those avatars?
Also pose a disclaimer that we don't really know what we're talking about. So
point, I don't know anything. That's why. So we brought. Well, stuff about real estate. Dallas knows everything that's going on in Dallas. So right, if there's any least knowledgeable person is me. So and I know that from the get go. But the point is nobody's talking about some of the stuff that's going around here in Dallas. Like you said, people are interested. And real estate is our focus. That's what all our profession is. But real estate touches everything. And the topics about real estate, or the topics that are happening in Dallas, they affect real estate,
they affect how people feel about, like, the region they live in. Yeah. And, there's been immense change from in the last 10 years, from 2015 to now. Just look at how much disruptions occurred, and it makes people have anxiety about, we've gone from 6 million to over 8 million people, and there's just so much growth in the area and activity. I feel like a lot of people just sort of have fatigue.
It's been a crazy 10 years. If you really look back at it, it's been
pandemic,
crazy.
It has been. And then now people are we in a recession? Are we not in one? There's just, I think people have a high level of anxiety.
I was telling somebody last night about you said it's been a crazy 10 years. Like, you'll look back, he was talking about Mavs stars, and we'll get into that in a second. And the fact that I was like, you'll look back, and the last 10 years of Mavs stars was the golden age of the Mavs and the Stars. It might have been like they were in the finals, they were all at the AAC, like location, everything, like, had good games, you had Luka, you had all kinds of fun stuff, and that's all about to change.
The Stars are still good, but to your point, this is something we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about downtown, and that's a point. I guess actually American Airlines is considered uptown.
Are we going to?
No, it's not actually in uptown, but it's 9th Street. Victory's its own development district, and it's on a tip.
But would it all be downtown if we didn't have, like, Woodall Rogers going right through the middle of it? because it's kind of all the same area, but then you've got these pockets. You got downtown, you got uptown, you got Victory. But I mean, if the Stars, I mean, they're the only teams we have in Dallas.
Well, you got the women's basketball team, and soccer.
Yeah, and what?
And there's professional women's soccer
in downtown.
At Cotton Bowl, and then there's going to be a men's a new men's team that is going to go to Garland.
Don't we already have a men's team?
That's at Frisco.
Are they going away?
No, there's
we'll have two.
We're going to have two.
Speaking of the Cotton Bowl, I went to Texas OU, and the renovation's not bad.
Yeah,
not bad. It like total piece of crap that now is sort of respectable. So we can do some stuff there.
The Texas OU game's great.
Wonderful.
I mean, it is still, and it's in Dallas. I mean, that's something to build around. It's a big deal. It'll always be that.
Doesn't the Cotton Bowl hold 100,000?
90? No. It's before they added it was like 60 something before they added the second horseshoe, but I can't remember. But
see, I shouldn't listen to people. Somebody told me that the other
If we lose the Texas State Fair and the Cotton Bowl together, like that's another great topic. Texas State Fair. Do you see how far down that was this year?
Yeah.
270,000 visitors under.
Yeah, but that's the ice and pricing. I mean, there are a lot of families I think are priced. The fair is expensive to go.
I think it's ice. I think it was they wouldn't allow minors to go. A lot of my kids' friends, they wouldn't go because they're like, we're going to get in trouble if we go, and that was always what they did, was go with their buddies to the fair.
What was the lowest in a decade?
Right.
They changed it to where minors couldn't go to the fair.
Yeah, they were having issues last year.
16-year-old kid couldn't go with his 4 buddies without their parents?
No.
Well, yeah, that'll affect attendance because I don't want to go.
Yeah, right. Yeah. How many parents gladly let their 16 and 17-year-old kids go to the fair, or 15, let mom take the 15-year-olds and then pick them up?
Especially if you live up where I live, and you do want to go to the fair, and your kids want to go to the fair, like that means I got to drive from Argyle to Fair Park to take my 16-year-old who once we're there would want nothing to do with me.
Right.
So I'd just be sitting there eating Fletcher's corn dogs all day and gain 10 pounds. Right, which I love Fletcher's corn dogs.
I heard the ICE comment on the news, or it says politics, but I'm like, I don't know that really.
Think that's it.
Yeah,
I knew several people of color that they said that's why they didn't go. I mean, they cited that they were concerned. So I don't know, it's a small sample size, but but that's a key event. I mean, that's one of the real sort of classics that are in the city of Dallas that bring people there and fill up the hotel rooms.
Yeah,
and that's important. I mean, there are 9,600 hotel rooms in downtown Dallas. So those, I mean, you're worried about the Stars and the Mavericks moving. It impacts everything. The restaurants. I mean, we've got to find a way to keep those. And I'm super worried about downtown. I mean, I moved. Master Plan had been downtown for more than 40 years, and when I reopened, we're in Oak Lawn.
Yeah,
and some of that's about safety. I mean,
yeah, I was going to say, what is the real? I mean, we can all give our speculation. If you ask me, and I don't go to downtown very often. I used to go more than I do, but there's reasons why I don't go as much anymore because maybe the clients I used to visit down there are no longer there anymore. But I mean, if you ask me, and again, full disclosure, I don't know anything, but I would say it's because of homeless and crime. Because when I'm down there, I'm looking over my shoulder.
But why is there the homeless and crime? The other thing is the functional obsolescence. A lot of those buildings that are huge.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, is one of those things the main reason, or is it all a bunch of collective?
It's
a collective.
It's all of them. I mean, you've got. I agree with Tyler. You got a lot of large buildings that are underparked.
Yeah.
And so let's say I want to take 10,000 square feet. Yes, the release price is pretty attractive, but you're not going to have parking for all your employees likely in these buildings. Mm-hmm. That's real unattractive. And you got some metropolitan areas in the country where young people really want to go. That's not where they're going to live in Dallas. I know there's 10,000 or so people living downtown, but most young people want to be like in Uptown or Design District or something.
Yeah.
They still have to drive to work.
Yeah.
So, you look at, yes, the lease price is pretty low, but you put on the parking, and that's either the employer's going to pay for it or you're going to pass it on to your employees. When you do that, they don't like it.
Yeah.
So we've got a pretty young downtown. compared to Philly and New York and other places. Like,
Yeah.
but still, it's changed so quickly that the functional obsolescence is a real thing. Like, is this a really crazy hot sports opinion that maybe we need to blow up a couple of those buildings and build like where the convention center and the city hall?
Yeah.
Like, if you were to do a really cool mixed use project with 21st century office space there and house, like, backstop that south end of downtown with some really, really amazing, like 21st century, I mean, put a heliport down there, like not a heliport, a vertiport for like the next generation of transportation where people can come in and out for games or, well, let's move an arena there. I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, to have that south bookend, to then have something that's the gleaming, amazing spire on Dallas. That's the new coolest part of Dallas. That would change everything.
Well, it'd be good for the Cedars too. I mean, I think there's gonna be a lot of discussion about should Dallas City Hall be torn down. I mean, I know I haven't written on this yet, but I'm sure I will.
Torn down and rebuilt, or just
no,
torn down?
just torn down and
plenty of open vacant space for them to move into. They can move into the Bank America Tower and have City Hall there.
Well, or Comerica, more like it. I think that's what's been discussed. You got an opportunity to do something like Tyler says, is have an expansive area that links to the convention center where you could open up a whole new area for whether it's the Mavericks and the Sands Corporation moves. I know there's all kinds of rumors.
Yeah, I mean, if they could keep the Stars and the Mavericks down there and then kind of do like they did in Arlington around the Globe Life, where they have the hotel and all the restaurants and people. It's fun to go down there if you can get down there and get in and out of there. Going to a Cowboy game is miserable, but like that's cool what they did around there, and that would hopefully fill the hotel rooms and get some more activity down there.
Well, no one drives.
But they go to Plano.
No one drives downtown to look at an IMP building. I mean, like I know there are going to be IMP, the architect of City Hall. I mean, I know it's a monument, but like I know a lot of people that have Mavericks T-shirts. I don't know anybody that has an IMP T-shirt.
Let's piss a lot of people off and just talk about, like, let's talk shit about that. Like, that building is one of the ugliest buildings I've ever seen.
It's pretty ugly.
And
what is that? A famous architect?
Yes, it's a very famous.
What's his name?
I
am Pay. Like saying, it sounds like a Dr. Seuss character.
But Dallas is not a historically significant.
No, it's not. And there are 4 other IMP buildings downtown. I mean, look at the Meyerson. I think that's a great building.
That's a good building.
And we may, we may be pitted with the decision that the Dallas City Council has to decide: do I want to keep the Mavericks, or do I want to keep this architecturally significant building? That's a really hard thing. I think the number of Mavericks and NBA fans greatly outweighs people that care about architecture.
Do you think if the Stars are going to Plano? We're pretty sure. I mean, they're going to Plano.
I feel like their fan base is more northern based.
Yeah, Minnesota.
What are you trying to say?
I just think there are a lot of people in Plano and Frisco.
So, I think hayseeds up north.
It's colder up there.
Hockey.
No, it's colder up there. The ice is.
Oh yeah. The cold.
Yeah, right.
They can make the rink will freeze up faster in Plano.
Correct.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'd like them to stay downtown too. I mean, I had always hoped that maybe the Mavericks would build a new gym somewhere, and the Stars could stay at American Airlines. American Airlines, I still think, and we worked on it. I'm biased. That's probably the most famous project our firm's ever worked on.
I think if any team leaves the actual city they're named after, the name should have to change. If they go to Plano, they should be the Plano Stars.
So that we can get another team in Dallas.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah. The Dallas Stars, if they're in Plano, they should be Plano Stars.
The Dallas Cowboys haven't played Dallas since the 60s.
I know. They should be the Frisco Cowboys or something. Like you should pay a penalty if you lose your team, if you can't keep your team in your own.
That's the problem with Dallas, though, is they're always like, you should pay a penalty if you don't. And they're like, see ya. Like, we
know that
it's competitive, and the city of Dallas has a really hard time competing with the suburbs. I mean, look at the Cowboys moved to Arlington, at least in part, but first to Irving because Dallas just can't be competitive. And it had, Dallas has the highest tax rate in the region, and I argue all the time that we're certain
losses they can take before they decide, you know what, maybe we need to be competitive.
This is why I write often about Daltroit, is that we're facing a sort of a real problem, and this kind of brings us back to downtown. 60% of people when they visit Dallas, the DFW area, they go downtown.
Because of Dealey Plaza and all that?
Yeah, sure. And they just think, I'm going to a big city, I'm going to check out their downtown. I mean, that's what people do.
I mean, iconic
Chicago. So people form their opinion about the Metroplex on average based on what they think about our downtown. So if you think Dallas is declining downtown doesn't matter for Argyle, it does matter. And it matters if you're in Dallas. I think it's a handful of buildings that comprise half of the tax base downtown, which is 5% of Dallas's tax base.
Yeah. So wait, say that again. A handful of buildings.
Yeah, there's about 20 parcels downtown that comprise half of all of downtown's tax base.
Oh, downtown's tax base. I thought you meant all of Dallas. I was
what 5% of the tax base is downtown. So, Dallas, other than the city of Boston, Dallas, it relies on its commercial tax base more than any city other than Boston. So, as these buildings go down, and probably we'll talk about that some other time, there's more and more of these buildings that are going to foreclosure. Yeah. And this is a problem for all of our businesses.
Well, that's twofold, because some of those buildings do need to go into foreclosure for the basis to be right to redevelop them or something. I mean, that's you can't prop things up, because we see how that always ends up crashing. But something has to happen.
We get too much office.
And to your point about me in Argyle, but when I'm not in Texas or I'm somewhere and people ask me where I'm from, I typically say Dallas, because I don't want to have to go through the whole explanation of where Argyle is, right? And so, but for me, like, calling it an ego thing, whatever, I don't want to say I'm from Dallas and people think like, oh yeah, Dallas is really sucking that place. I don't want that. I want them to think, oh, you're from Dallas. That's a cool
my name's Dallas. I don't want the city to go down. I mean, it doesn't look good. I mean,
it's important.
You have a vested interest.
I do have a really vested interest.
There's no reason why we can't have really beautiful, functioning downtowns that people want to visit and feel safe in. There should be zero reason why.
What's the scuttlebutt on downtown right now? So we talked about Stars and Mavericks. We talked about the Bank of America building.
Well, okay, so
I haven't yet, but
I mean, we're at a tipping point, really. I mean,
I think
the city has to really concentrate on homelessness and crime, and that's a hard thing to do.
That has to be number one.
It does, and they are. Like, if you look over the last 4 months, crime is down. They are really on homelessness. Like, if you go down there and look at it, it's much better than it was.
We need to go down.
But it's such a tough subject, because if you look at, like, the Austin homeless population, they attributed to some halfway houses that were on the other side of I-35 that they've now said, like, a lot of the population migrating into downtown that was the tent cities and all that it was like a revolving door coming into these facilities people are just getting dumped there, and then they're downtown's problem. And it's a problem. It's a tough
problems require solutions.
I mean, it's a mental health thing, really.
But you have a lot of facilities that are really close to downtown Dallas.
That's right.
But that's not to them. It sounds like.
I remember 20 years ago, there was an old hospital that had closed out on 35. And I had a client that really wanted to move the homeless facilities out to that. And I think, in the end, I thought it was a good idea then. I think it was a good idea now, is that so many American cities, think of Seattle and Portland, they're just overrun by their unhoused persons population. And that comes at a giant cost, because people move out. Like, I mean, that was certainly a reason my business moved out. It wasn't rent. I mean, I was in a building that was on the top floor of a building with pretty good rent prices. Yeah. But I mean,
but Dallas seemed in the last, we just mentioned the last 10 years, 2015, 25, a lot's happened. It seems in that time, at least just by my eyes and no data, that there's way more homeless going on than there was.
Well,
I think what exacerbated that?
Well, I think all the negative media coverage of what actually happened downtown during the pandemic, that there was rioting.
It was nasty.
Yes, it was bad. And I think people form an opinion. You look at what's going on in Deep Ellum now. Yes, it's one nightclub, but if you're out there late at night, people have a negative opinion about, I had moved to the East Quarter. Well, the East Quarter never really quite kind of happened. It was like a good idea, and not much has occurred. And you've got that area, that southern part, the southeastern part of downtown, nothing has happened like forever. I mean, and that's a problem.
Well, I mean, when you go in an underpass and there's tents, and when you go in, I mean, like, I think anybody that's looking at, hey, maybe I'd lease some space in there, maybe I'd go down there, they turn around.
The thing, you have to stop those things.
Yeah.
It's sort of like that, broken window theory. Until people don't see it anymore, and you've proved to them that we got this under control, they're going to continue to have negative thoughts about downtown. Then you get to Tyler's issue of there are fundamental problems of these buildings are too big, they don't have enough parking, there's not street retail.
So what are some things, instead of all of us shitting on downtown, because we're talking about we need to revive downtown, what are some really cool things that are happening?
I like that Avalon and Hoke are going to redo the Bank of America Tower. It is the biggest, tallest building in the city. It is iconic, and they're going to turn it into, hotel and office and apartments. That's great. The city of Dallas has given them $100 million so to assist to make that happen. So that's a building that had to be, it's something's got to happen with it.
So America Tower apparently is going to be under some kind of renovation.
Maybe. I mean, and maybe that's I know people who think that's a great building for City Hall maybe to move to.
Yeah.
I wrote last week about,
I think City Hall being a tenant in one of the downtown buildings makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
I do too.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, they'd fill it up.
Yeah.
And they'd still have the problem of where to park, but maybe that's solvable. I mean, I wrote last week about, you look at like the Bank of America building as an example. I can't remember the numbers, but it was $100-odd million to build, and to build that same building today would be $1 billion.
Crazy.
So there's a lot of value in these old skyscrapers.
Yeah.
And we won't see them built again in our lifetime. So
no.
we got to figure out a way, whether it's favorable.
You won't see them built again in our lifetime.
I don't think so. Not down. I mean,
well, there's apparently a huge, tallest skyscraper in DFW planned in Victory Park right now.
That's not in downtown.
80 stories.
But maybe we'll see if it gets built. I mean, what is that? The country's biggest tower is supposed to be built
in
the city, and that they haven't started.
Well, there's an 88-story tower that just got built in Austin. And so, I mean, there are people doing it, just not in downtown. So my point is, like, who cares about a 1970s obsolete skyscraper that is not one of our iconic skyscrapers? Why don't we...
Which one are you referring to?
Well, like AT&T's building. I mean, they're looking to move, and why don't we go all in and build them a fantastic facility down there? Because, I mean, that building is not the sexiest looking. Their plaza is really, really cool.
Really
but
cool.
But the building itself is nothing. It's a
well,
there's probably a bunch of buildings down there, like you're saying, that are obsolete.
For every
but
iconic
I think
building, there's
basis,
5 that aren't.
To tear them down or to buy one of those buildings and to tear it down and redevelop it, like they can't pencil it until they're foreclosed on.
To your point on resetting the basis, there's a lot of those buildings.
And there's not enough demand. Like, even if you did tear it down, that's not where the action wants to be.
Yeah.
It's much. I mean, like, we're in the center of the Metroplex kind of now. It's sort of like here, the Galleria area, and you really, people want to gravitate north or west of here now, not south. This is this problem.
It's a tough problem.
The city of Dallas has suffered from, over that 10-year period we're talking, since Mike Rawlings left, who was an effective mayor, I think largely, you've had T.C. Broadnax was such a bad city manager, and we lost so many talented people that worked the city, and our current mayor has just not done the job. So we've really had a power vacuum where people are just sort of, like, oh, someone will fix it sometime. I mean, that sometime better be now, or Dallas continues to fall behind.
It'd be a really interesting push, and I think I should get sponsored for this, but what if Dallas ran for Dallas city mayor?
I'm not moving to Dallas. I like University Park, but I root for the city, and I mean, like, I tell groups when I speak all the time, sort of collectively, what I'm writing is what I think of as sort of prayer for the city. That, yes, I'm pointing out all the things that I worry about. And I do worry about that 1970s building that is obsolescent, because it could be used for something. It's a way of figuring out how can we do that. Dallas has got to get back in the game too. For a long time, Dallas had really active, aggressive economic development people where they were trying to
there was a time they obviously built all this stuff.
They were trying to make deals with people. They need to bring back that spirit of, we're going to make a deal, because maybe it's a small deal and it's $18 or $20 million of tax abatements for that 70s building, and you renovate it to be a seniors deal, or something that's not all that sexy, but it does get that building back in play.
It's like you've said before, and I hate to make a hasty generalization, but we both know a lot of people down there that are good people, and we know a lot of people down there who have been career employees that need to go.
Yep.
And we need to have somebody to come in and make kind of a clean sweep with new blood that's not going to be just that old blue blood like this, because I hear every time I go down there, I hear, look, this is the way it's been forever and nothing's going to change. And I'm like, what do you mean? You're in a position to change.
I do think, and I pointed out in my column about downtown that I guess written about twice now recently, Kim, the new city manager, she lives downtown, and she works hard, and she is leading by example. She's a hard worker. Kim Bizor-Tolbert, and and she's been in the system for a long time, but she left and is back. I'm seeing some department heads improving.
Good.
And they're holding people accountable. Now, it's a big ship, and it takes a long time to turn it around.
They just did the online Dallas Now.
And it doesn't work great yet, but I'm telling you, when you have a problem, you can call them and they will solve it.
They're committed to it. Then
they are. I honestly can say I can point to, some of the people in Dallas Now that are attentive. I think Public Works, how quickly they got all the flat work done in front of Love Field. They spent extra money, and if you drove there a couple of days, it was awful for about a week or two.
I tried to catch a flight.
But they got it done really quickly, and it looks good. So there are some people at the city that, like in the old days, are doing a real good job. Now, they got to find more of those people, and they have to be empowered at the highest levels.
Empowered and motivated.
You run your department and make it go. I'm a little bit optimistic in that, they return phone calls. I know that's such a small thing, but for a long time,
in today's world, it's pretty big.
You'd send an email or a phone call to City of Dallas, and just nothing would happen. Yeah. Now there's at least an expectation that they're going to treat people like customers. And
they're back in the office from COVID now.
For 5 years. They are. And I had complained about that the city planners don't go to the hearings. They were doing it remotely. They're there on Thursdays.
Good.
That's good to hear. So the new planning director, she's serious and she's practical.
Well, that's exciting.
No, there are some good things, and I beat on the city. I guess that's partly my lane. But I should also say,
in your career, you have a good chance to do it from both sides.
I do, and I've seen it. So I'm happy to say when things are getting better. And I understand I'm not going to get my way all the time. But as long as you're getting treated like a customer, that's a good thing.
Totally.
So I don't think
you're paying taxes here.
But
so
I guess the last thing I'll say on downtown is the losing both the Stars and the Mavericks is going to be catastrophic.
Yeah.
I think the AAC still a good place, a great place for concerts. It has always struggled, because from, in April through June, they can't book any concerts because they got to black out all those dates because both teams could be in the playoffs, and they're not always, but they could be.
Right.
So
problem.
That's a kind of a problem. This just comes down to those teams don't want to share. They don't want to share a venue.
How many teams share their arenas with NBA? And because it seems to make pretty good sense that an arena for NBA can also be an easily.
But it isn't anymore. If you listen to the Stars want to be in a place where they can control the real estate around it, like the Rangers have.
Is it normal that these things are shared in other cities, or
not anymore?
So most hockey teams have their own facility.
All want to have their own facilities now. That's part of being they're all. Look at the Cowboys are the best example of this. They're a marketing machine that plays football games too.
Yeah.
And they have all these ancillary revenue streams coming in, and some of that's the hotel and the the era of, like, I remember when we got the Mavericks, my dad was on the council in Dallas when that happened, and they built that, and then we got the Stars in '93. They came to town and shared pretty happily. That was an era like in the '80s and '90s when they were planning Reunion Arena, which is also an awesome venue. But it wasn't grand enough. And over time, the teams, we got to have better. We got to have better and our own. It's like if you have toddlers, you better have, they don't want to share.
Does Dallas proper have, can we have the Stars Arena? And then I guess if they got their own arena, would the Mavericks be okay staying at American Airlines Center at that point?
I don't know. You'd think one of them, if they had, could use it on their own.
It's still a great and beautiful building. So that would, if you could have them all there, then
this is where we really could use a mayor. I mean, this is where, like if you had Tom Leppert or Rawlings or Ron Kirk, one of these real mayors that have a lot of gravitas.
Yeah.
And leadership skills, they could get those people into a room and hey, we want you guys to win, but can you play together so that the whole region wins? And I just don't think that's happening. I mean, our current mayor doesn't stay for the whole meetings, and I've stayed on him and plan to, but he's politicized his office in a nonpartisan office, and he's made a big case of being the sports mayor. All right, we'll produce. He's a sports mayor. I mean, he spent a lot of time talking about, we should have a second NFL team. Let's concentrate on keeping the NBA and the NHL teams.
Yeah.
Because this is like, we're all real estate guys, and sure, we're interested in the Comerica building and Bank of America, but regular people, they're interested in the Stars and the Mavericks, and they just don't understand,
But that directly affects real estate because, like you said, the hotels and those things. I mean, we need that activity. And
I didn't realize how many room nights that was a year until
it's a lot of
Jennifer Scripps, the president and CEO of Downtown Dallas Inc., told me. I mean, that it is a lot. And you can't count on the convention center just eating up all those room nights every day of the year.
Yeah,
that convention center being down for, what is it going to be, 4 years, 5 years? That's going to be that could be the death knell of downtown, is not having that going on.
Is that started?
Yeah, I mean, my daughter does cheer down there, and they're done in downtown for at least 5 years. So
we're going to get. I mean, it's a several $billion project. It needs to work out. But there's also an opportunity here if you did do something with City Hall, that you could get a lot of connectivity to that. I mean, that's one of the problems in downtown right now is that, if you go to a convention, you can't, the hotels aren't like right on the site. You got to take an Uber, and there aren't that many restaurants. I mean, I know when people come, they're always like, okay, I want to go to Javier's to eat, and I'm staying,
at the Omni.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, this doesn't all work out.
Yeah.
And I've heard about this, traveling around to other convention centers for these cheer tournaments. You're typically in a convention center, and you go to Atlanta. Oh my gosh, Atlanta's not a place I want to go anymore downtown. Or Indianapolis, it's freezing cold, but they have breezeways where you kind of can get around. So, but to your point, people come here from all over, and they're like, where do we eat? What do we do? What is this all there is?
They think we don't have it.
We think we don't have anything. And then we go to ICSC in San Antonio. They haven't had it there forever, and they're having it again this year.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited because you walk right across, and you go to the river, and everybody's drinking.
So the Red River ICSC is in San Antonio this year?
Yes, and
right
after
Valentine's Day.
It's so much better because
right after Valentine's Day.
It's
like on a Monday or Tuesday.
That downtown is so fun, and it's great, and it's hokey, but that's the fun part about it is you get to go.
I'm not sure why the Red River isn't anywhere close to San Antonio, but people like going there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was used to be called Texas ICSC.
I know.
Now it's Red. I don't know why, but
Make Oklahoma City happy, I guess.
Yeah.
maybe.
They have a problem downtown with homelessness too.
Oklahoma City does?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
That's for another day.
Yeah.
Another day.
I mean, these are just challenges.
We can't solve everybody's problems today. So,
We're out of time.
I know.
That was good.
That was good.
I think we could talk about this for months.
Well, I think we will.
Because unwinding all the issues is then you find another one. You're like,
we need people to be talking about downtown and be interested in it instead of saying, like, because even if you say, like you did, I don't go downtown a lot, that doesn't mean that it doesn't impact you and you don't want it to be successful.
I'm rooting for it. I really.
Okay, here's an idea. Let's get the Downtown Dallas Inc. down here.
Okay.
As a guest.
I think we
let's
should
do that.
I think we should
I'll work on that for us.
And hopefully they won't bitch us out for talking crap about
Look,
the whole
they're
time.
focused on it. I mean, that is their single focus. And there are a lot of good things. Like, look at all the parks downtown.
Yeah.
Some good things have happened in the last 10
There has
years.
been.
But people right now are focused on crime and the homelessness and the fear that everybody's leaving.
We need better connectivity. We need
we need more people down there. Like,
It sounds like the downtown Dallas group is really trying. Like they're looking for it.
really
And it
are.
sounds like the city hall is finally trying. And
Absolutely.
so I think we've ended on some positives there. Like, I mean, your point that they're at the meetings, they're calling people back. The downtown group sees it as super necessary. And it sounds like they're trying to address some of these issues. So yeah, we should have them on and have them tell us, like, you know, what else is going on. Yeah. Because I think the public know. And if you think about it, like, my perception and what I see isn't necessarily, perception is the reality a lot of times, because, if we all think this, then that's reality, whether it's true or not.
That's why people will pay more in real estate, because of better perception.
Yeah.
I mean, people perceive HP schools are the best. And, I'd argue over a 50 or 70 year period, that's proven out. And people pay much more for a home in that community. It's the same thing in commercial real estate. People will pay more to be on Preston or near Preston, the tollway, whatever it is. There's a perception that those are good tracks, and those values. Don't you think you just see them continue to
Same thing
increase?
And yet I
People
know,
move there for that reason, and look at it. Yeah.
and yet I know that the reality is Lake Highlands is better than Highland Park.
Are they? Because we won those 5. We're the all-time winningest team in high school football.
Wait,
we
used to play you, but then you stepped down by like a student or two down to.
We're in the league they put us in.
That's right, but
We were 5A. You get state every year.
They were
Now it was 4A. We won golf every year. Now we're 5A. Now
6A didn't do so good for Highland Park. It was a rough road. So yeah, they're back in where they.
All right, we'll have to have a special segment for y'all to argue about.
I like that. I would like that. That's something I'm really passionate.
You know what I would really like to be, when you see great school districts like HP or, the several others that we have in the Metroplex, like, obviously they have a winning formula. I wish the other school districts that are struggling, like the ISD, would look at those and be like, let's just copy their format and try and really boost
that's
things
kind of hard because their tax base is really, really high in a really small area. And
I get that there's definitely some differences there, but there's definitely improvements.
I will tell you, look, in all honesty, and we got to wrap this up, I know, but like the International Baccalaureate program down at Woodrow is huge deal. And I didn't know anything about baccalaureate program until I didn't realize it's internationally standardized.
Yep.
So with my daughter's a senior, she's trying to get into colleges, and a lot of these kids last 3, 4, 5, 6 years with this international baccalaureate like focus, they're getting into the Stanfords and the Princetons and the Harvards and the things that look, no offense to Highland Park, they're really, really good academics, but you're probably got a professional tutor to make top quarter because it's really, really competitive.
Oh.
But that doesn't mean you're going to get into Texas. That doesn't mean you're going to get into the Ivy Leagues. And so they're doing DISD's got some good track record. They really do.
We need welders and plumbers too.
Hey, I got a column coming out.
I've read it.
Oh, you already did?
The one on
Sunday.
on TST.
Yeah. About skilled trades. Thank you. That'd be a good guy.
We'll have so much to talk about.
Yeah, there's Rob Holmes. There's a great group. I'll call him too.
Yeah. Right. My oldest son's he's going to join the Air Force to be a master electrician.
That's
and awesome. In your article said, in the next 10 years, we're going to need like 10,000 electricians.
Yes.
So you can make a fortune being a business owner and an electrician.
Totally agree.
A fortune.
No,
One of the richest guys I've ever met was a plumber.
The skilled trades are. I mean, if we want our economy to grow, those are all people that we need, and those are.
I will not replace.
No, that's exactly.
Nobody's going to stop flushing toilets.
Nope.
That's going to keep, and everybody has to.
Yep.
Yeah. This has been the Working Title Show with Zach Sams and new guest hosts Tyler Isbell and Dallas Coffin. We appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you next time.